What's good, YouTube? This your boy Lang, man, and I'm back here with another reaction video, slime. And right now, I'm about to react to the cop who turned into a gangster, Rafael Perez. A lot of y'all been hitting me to react to this for a minute. You feel me? Like, a lot of y'all was like, bro, Lang, bro, you gotta react to like this dude that was a gangster, like was a cop, but he turned to a gangster, like I was like, what? Like, I was like, how? So I'm very interested to see how like this even happened. You feel me? And Rafael Perez, this is my first time like ever hearing of bro ever. So like this is gonna be very, very interesting. You feel me? So like we about to see like how this even happened. You feel me? Like how bro even did this. You feel me? And before I get started, y'all make sure y'all hit that sub button, you feel me? And make sure to check out all the reactions over here, you feel me? We got the music reactions over here, the forensic file reactions over here, and we got the funny videos over here, and then we got reactions like this one, like over here. So like we got it all over here. So if y'all haven't, like, make sure to go check those out, you feel me? But we about to see how this dude even did this. Like, this is crazy. We about to see, bro. So this is the cop who turned into a gangster, Rafael Perez. Let's get into this thing, Slime. Let's go.
In 1999, 70 police officers were accused of police misconduct during the LAPD's infamous Rampart scandal. And the man behind it all was Rafael Perez. Rafael Perez had went from being a good cop, dedicated to arresting criminals and violent gang members, to becoming a criminal and a gangster himself. And when federal agents finally took Perez down, he exposed the biggest case of police corruption in California's history.
Wow.
Rafael Antonio Perez was born in Puerto Rico on August 22nd, 1967. At a young age, he moved with his mother to Philadelphia, and he spent most of his childhood years there. As a kid, Perez always knew he wanted to be a police officer. He would watch cop shows and movies about police officers in Los Angeles and dreamed of one day working for the LAPD, catching the bad guys like on the TV shows. After graduating from high school, Perez joined the Marines and soon after got married to his first wife. While in the Marines, Perez didn't have many friends, but those who knew him described him as being a nice guy, considerate, and easy to talk to. In 1998, the military base Perez was stationed at in Maine closed down, so Perez and his wife relocated to California to start a new life. He was 21. But soon after their move, their marriage came to an end after Perez was caught cheating with a female Marine. That same year he was divorced, Perez took the LAPD entrance exam and passed. He joined the police academy and was the squad leader of his class. And in 1989, he graduated, becoming a Los Angeles police officer at 22 years old. After his rookie year, Rafael Perez, who went by Ray on the force, began working undercover assignments on the narcotics team. He was partnered up with David Mack, a cop from Compton who had joined the LAPD a year before. The two were put on the buy and bust team, which meant they traveled throughout the city, undercover, buying drugs on the streets and making arrests. Perez quickly learned about the darker side of Los Angeles. He became an expert on how gangs and drugs moved through Southern California, and he saw firsthand how gangs and drugs destroyed the communities he patrolled. So he worked hard to arrest those who were involved in both. And for the first few years, he was good at it. Perez's commanding officers recognized him as being an honest cop who made clean arrests and took hundreds of real criminals off the streets. No reports of any police misconduct involving Perez came until 1993, 4 years after he had joined the force. The incident involved a drug dealer who had been shot and killed by Perez's partner, David Mack. According to both Perez and Mack, the dealer had pulled a gun out on Perez, threatening to shoot him, and Mack responded by shooting first, saving Perez's life. Witnesses, however, told a much different story. They claimed the dealer was unarmed and was shot once when he approached the police car. They say the dealer then tried to run and was shot again in the back, killing him. But both Perez and Mack denied the allegations, and both...
Of course they gonna deny it, bro, because it's gonna make the police department look bad, bro. We still see the same thing today. cops killing people and still getting away with it. That's why now you got people killing cops, cause bro, a lot of people, bro, they not going for that. Like a cop could be like, yeah, come over here, and then just shoot you. Like, it's like, bro, what gives you the right to take somebody's life because you got a badge? Like, I don't understand. Because without that badge on, like, bro, you take that badge off and you become a regular person. So, the same people that you, like, did stuff to while you had the badge on, bro, there's consequences to your actions. You feel me? That's why I always say, bro, like, just don't do wrong to people. Like, as long as you don't do wrong to people, they don't do wrong to you. You feel me? Like, straight up. But this dude, Rafael, like, bro seemed like a cool, bro seemed like a cool dude. And that was really down for his job. You feel me? Like, he was really down for what that the police stood for. You feel me? But that's crazy if bro was like doing the slime stuff before he even turned into like a gangster. You feel me? Like, that's crazy. But there's a lot of police that do slime stuff too, though. Not all police, but you got 50% of them that do slimy stuff, and then the other 50% that are cool. You feel me? So it's crazy.
Were found to be justified in their actions. David Mack even received an LAPD medal for heroism in saving Perez's life. Then, in 1995, after years of exceptional police work cleaning up the streets, Perez was assigned to an elite undercover narcotics unit, the Rampart Anti-Gang Crash Unit, which stood for Community Resources Against Street Hoodlums. In this special unit, it was the police officer's job to track and monitor gang activities and gang membership. The officers patrolled Rampart, an area just west of downtown Los Angeles that's heavily populated and home to at least 30 different gangs. Because of the undercover nature of their jobs, the officers assigned to Rampart were allowed to wear plain clothes and not police uniforms. Perez, who was no longer partnered with David Mack, was assigned a new crash partner, and the two were let loose in the streets to confront and attempt to control LA gangs. It's said that this is when Perez started dressing more like a gangster than a cop and acting almost like a gang member himself. Perez demanded respect from those he came in contact with, and if they didn't give it to him, they paid the price. Perez's Puerto Rican background also gave him an advantage over the Spanish-speaking community he patrolled because most people assumed he was black, not knowing that he actually spoke fluent Spanish. Perez would make multiple arrests and then leave the suspects in the back of his police car to talk. Many times, gang members and drug dealers would tell on themselves and at the same time give Perez information about the neighborhood that no one would know except those who lived there. Within months of working with the crash unit, Perez was on his path.
So bro started getting tapped in with the real thugs, with the real OGs. Like, that's crazy.
To corruption. His first admitted offense came while making his first big drug bust. Perez and his partners had seized money from a drug dealer and then decided to keep some of the money for themselves.
Wow.
And from there, his spiral downward was fast. Perez began stealing drugs and money from other dealers through illegal search and seizures and would beat up whoever tried to stop him. He started setting gang members up for crimes they didn't commit and would plant fake evidence on suspects to make arrests. 2 gang members Perez planted weapons on were arrested and sent to jail for 1 and 3 years, even after they told the courts they were being set up. In fact, many of the people Perez arrested claimed they were set up. But because most of Perez's victims had gang associations or criminal records, their statements were easily disregarded. And because Perez was such a respected cop in the police department, none of his arrests were even questioned, and everyone he falsely arrested was found to be guilty and sent to jail. With the money he had made from his illegal activities, Perez was able to live an expensive lifestyle. He had remarried and was living in a beautiful Los Angeles home with his wife and daughter, and neighbors say he often bought new cars and home furnishings. Along with a wife and family, Perez also had several girlfriends in the Rampart area he patrolled that helped him deal his stolen narcotics. Perez would steal the drugs from dealers, then bring it to his girlfriends to sell the product on the streets. But after years of stealing from street dealers, Perez wanted more, so he moved to stealing drug evidence from police lockers. He started out taking small amounts of cocaine, then progressed to taking pounds, replacing the stolen evidence with flour or Bisquick mix. In 1996, while Perez was building his criminal empire, he stayed in contact with his former partner David Mack, and the two remained friends. Mack introduced Perez to Suge Knight, the CEO of Death Row Records.
Wow, so they were messing with Suge, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy right here. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Was at the time looking to hire off-duty police officers for extra security. Perez got the job, and on his days off from the police force, he worked as a private security guard for Suge Knight and Death Row Records. By the beginning of 1998, Perez had crossed all the way over. He would drink and throw wild parties with exotic dancers in hotel rooms while on duty. He'd shoot suspects without any cause, then wouldn't call medical attention after seriously wounding them. And one man he had shot, paralyzed, then sent to jail for 23 years. Perez had gotten completely comfortable with breaking the law, which had made him careless, and that's what caused his downfall. On August 25th, 1998, SWAT teams blocked off Perez's quiet suburban street and arrested him for stealing close to $1 million worth of cocaine from an LAPD evidence locker. Police had become suspicious of the theft when it was discovered that Perez had checked out the drug evidence using a false name. Months later, arrested and facing 12 years in prison for stealing police evidence, Perez cut a deal with prosecutors. In exchange for immunity, Perez agreed to give information regarding widespread police corruption within the LAPD's Rampart Division. And over the course of 35 interviews, Perez told stories of officers planting evidence to get convictions and using excessive force during arrests. He explained how cops would create false alibis for one another and intimidate people in the neighborhood who witnessed their misconduct. He even admitted cases where police officers attempted to murder possible suspects. Perez confessed to so many crimes committed by he and his fellow officers that his testimony transcripts filled 4,500 pages. But with everything Perez told, his most shocking confession involved Javier Ovando, the gang member Perez and his partner shot 3 times and paralyzed after the 19-year-old surprised them during a stakeout. Perez admitted that he had planted a weapon on Ovando after shooting him, and then lied in open court saying Ovando had attacked him. Perez's false testimony had sent Javier Ovando to prison with a 23-year prison sentence for felony assault against a police officer. By the time Perez was done exposing LAPD's corruption, 70 Rampart cops would be put under investigation. Prisons across California had to open their doors as over 100 cases were overturned and the wrongly imprisoned were set free, including framed Javier Ovando, who had done 2.5 years. After the wrongfully accused were set free, there were 140 lawsuits filed against the city of LA's police department, and $125 million was paid out to the victims. Victims' payouts ranged from $25,000 up to the $15 million settlement that Javier Ovando received, the largest settlement in LAPD's history. So many people got paid from the lawsuits that the locals started calling it the Rampart Lottery. As victims were receiving payouts, investigators continued to look into Perez's claims of even more police misconduct. But the investigators realized they had a problem when almost all the police officers that Perez accused denied everything Perez said. They claimed no wrongdoing, and not one cop came forward to support Perez's claims. Officers in Perez's department called...
Of course they not. Of course they not, because, bro, they'll lose their job. See, like... They're not gonna admit they did that, bro. Let's be honest. You feel me? Like, come on, let's be real. You feel me? They not doing that. You feel me? Like, no.
Liar. They said he was making up stories and targeting cops he didn't like just to save himself. And many of the officers accused fought the accusations against them in court and won. Out of the 70 Rampart police officers Perez put under suspicion, 9 of them were prosecuted and 24 were fired or quit. The only officer Perez spoke nothing about was his one-time partner, David Mack. Soon after Perez's confession, the entire crash task force was dismantled, and all gang officers from then on were required to wear police uniforms. The U.S. government also stepped in, meaning the Department of Justice would supervise and monitor all Los Angeles police activity for 5 years. At trial, prosecutors accused Perez of being associated with an LA Blood gang and said he had become a rogue cop who decided to take the law into his own hands. Perez admitted that he was a cop who had turned bad, but said that while he was committing the crimes, it hadn't occurred to him that he was destroying lives. Perez explained that he thought because he was taking gang members and drug dealers off the streets, that the ends justified the means. And then he apologized.
There is no justification for my misdeeds, either on or off duty. And I'll tell you with every inch of my heart and soul that I am truly, truly sorry.
In 2001, at the age of 33, Perez was released from prison after serving 3 years of his 5-year sentence for stealing from a police evidence locker. That same year, Perez pleaded guilty to the shooting of Javier Ovando and was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. After serving 2, he was released and put on parole. Because of his testimony exposing the corruption within the LAPD's Rampart Division, Perez received full immunity for all other crimes he'd committed while being a police officer. Today, the outside of the Rampart Division looks nothing like it did back in 2001. The police station has moved into a new building, and they claim to have undergone a complete transformation, both inside and out. And while there are people who do agree that the LAPD has improved since the scandal, most say there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And Rafael Perez, who stayed in California after being released from jail, has never spoken publicly since his trial. He's stayed away from all news and TV interview requests and instead has chosen to live a quiet life away from the spotlight. But no matter how quiet he is, Rafael Perez will always be remembered as the man who exposed the biggest police corruption scandal in California's history.
And I'm gonna end it right there, Slime. This was very, very interesting. Like, Rafael Perez, bro, was this was very, very interesting, bro. And I'm glad bro turned his life around, you feel me? Because all the stuff he was doing, bro, like, bro, that was gonna happen, like it was gonna eventually happen, bro. Like, you was gonna face the consequences, cause like it was shit, like it was gonna happen sooner or later. But I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, you went through it and you changed your life, you feel me, for the good, for the better, you feel me? So that's good, you feel me? And if y'all new over here, like I said, make sure to hit the sub button. Make sure to check out all the reactions, the music reactions, the forensic file reactions, just all the reactions over here, you feel me? I love y'all. Y'all stay safe, and I'ma holler at y'all on the next one, Slime. 1.